Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Esenam, Deborah, and you're welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate it a lot. So I'm not gonna waste much time. Let's get right into why we are here today. No, why I am here today. Anyway, whichever. Before we actually get into that, I want to give you guys some sort of background story. So I grew up in a family whereby I would see my mom see vendors who carried around saucepans, clothes, and all of that around, and then she'd be like, "Oh, okay, this is so nice. I really want it, but I don't have the money now. Can I take it and be paying in bits?" Yes, so that was the kind of family I grew up in. I didn't know what piggy bank was. Um, Mostly what I used to do as a child is when we go into school, we look for a special stone or a particular stone on the road because it was a bushy path and we used to walk from the house to school at that time. Yes, so what we do is to look for a very great, nice stone or a stone you can actually point out and figure out easily. Put our monies under it and then or beneath it and then go to school with the mindset that when we are coming back, we'll come back to take the money and use it to buy ice cream and sweets and all of that. And you know the mentality behind it. We believe or we think that at that time, most of the kids have already spent their money, and so we are just going to rub it in their face like, yo, we are the cool kids with the ice creams and all, you get it. Yes. So that was the kind of background I had when it came to money, saving, and all of that. I don't know how that affected or influenced or shaped my life, but growing up, I was not the kind who was so much into saving. I did a lot of financial, I made a lot of financial mistakes, and I'm here to share with you guys a couple of them. And mistakes are there to kind of help us do the right thing. If you don't get it wrong, you wouldn't know how to get it right, unless, of course, you got it right at your first shot or your very first shot, you get it, yes. So I'm just going to share with you guys these financial mistakes I personally made when it came to me and me handling money. I am still learning, and for the most part, I think I have actually improved upon my relationship with money. Okay, so without much ado, let me just quickly highlight these mistakes I have personally made. I don't know if you are actually on your way doing those mistakes or you've never made them before. If you've never made them before, then know that they are actually mistakes and that you shouldn't ever venture. Okay, yes. And if you've done them before, trust me, you can recover from it. You can find a way to come out of it. Okay, all right. So the first thing I'm going to share with you guys is whenever I get money, I keep pulling out the notes one after the other, one after the other. So say I've been paid. My very first job was aside me keeping my dad's store during JHS level. I mean, the very first job I had that I was actually paid per month was a teaching job at the time. I think it was in 2013. Now, when I get my money and say I wanted to make my hair, I wanted to buy clothes or something else, I take those monies out and then put the rest down. All I keep doing is to go, let me just take this one, maybe for transportation, for food. Then I'll go back, then I'll pick one for this or that, then I'll go back. Before I know it, the money is finished and I really don't know what I use the money for. And that was one of the mistakes I did when it came to money. Please, if you have money, don't put it down and then without no plan at all, anything, you start taking it one by one, one by one. It's not an investment. It's just like something just plays down to be taken one after the other. It will eventually get finished. You know that kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever experienced it before. The moment money comes into your hand, that's when you get a call. this and this and this happened to this person, we are contributing this, or say, this your cousin or this person is getting married and you have to do this. Have you ever experienced that before? Share with me if you have, because it is not funny, and it's as if like they've timed you. I mean, this is the particular time you're going to get the money, and so it is this time we are going to call you to ask of this and that and that. Do your best, but not at your own like risk, or not at your own detriment. I don't know how to really put it. You get it? I mean, it's good to do good. Nobody's saying don't do good. Nobody says don't give out or don't be benevolent. But have a limit, have a plan. Okay, I'm going to be saving. This will be for family and friends in case there's any emergency from families or friends. I'm going to do this in case of this. You get it? So like you have a plan. Okay, so in case family or friend issue comes, you dip into family and friend issue accounts and then you give it out. Then you leave the rest. Like, do you understand? But then the moment you have it, then in case there's something, you just hand you hand everything over like that or something. The third thing I'm gonna point out as my mistake would be living beyond like my income. Yes, you are earning. Let's say I'm earning 500 cedis a month, but then I want to live in a 2-bedroom self-compound. How, my sister, how? So in my case, I was at the time earning, I think 800 cedis or 700 cedis, one of them. But then the transportation a month alone is almost 600 cedis, because the distance from my house to the work was so long, and then the distance from my workplace to school at the time was extremely long too. So at that time, and then from school to the house was also very long. So at the time, at the end of the month, like about 90% is transportation, and then for the 10% you actually are living on friends and families and probably relatives and all of that. You get it? And here is the case. This is me and I want to live comfortably. How do you expect to live comfortably when you're barely feeding yourself? Like, do you get the whole idea? Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that it is enough to purge, okay? It is okay, not enough per se, but it is okay to purge. It is okay to live according to what you can afford. It is okay to not be okay. I mean, you are in a state whereby you are about like 10 in a room or 20 in a room. It doesn't matter. Start from somewhere. Don't pressurize yourself or put unnecessary pressure on yourself. You get it? Just because you have to be comfortable. Comfortability is relative, and at a point in time, you're never going to be you're not going to forever be how you always were. Tell me something. Look at let's say 5 years back. You can see there has been like a great change. Although you are not where you want to be, but you are definitely not where you used to be. So if you have this in mind, comfortability would come later, but for now, do with what you have. Like, do you get it? The fourth financial mistake I've ever made would be the fact that I rarely save and invest. Do you get it? So that was then. I am always making excuses. And I can't save because all my money is going into transportation, all my money is buying food, all I do with my money is to, solve these issues, I'm paying fees, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Do you think if I wanted to save like 50 pesos a day, I wouldn't have been able to do that? Or even like say 50 pesos a week, wouldn't I be able to do that? But I was always giving excuses upon excuses. Oh, I can't do this because of this. I can't do that because of this. And guess what? The little money you have there would eventually finish. Why? There's no investment. Investment is what brings returns on the money you want to put into something. Okay, so if you put your money into an investment, the returns, keeps you going. I had no sort of nothing like investment. I didn't even know what investment was. You get it. So at the end of the day, it is like hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. Nothing was coming in, but everything that I get was just going in, no return, and it's very bad. It's very bad. So there are a lot of investment opportunities out there. You can invest in a lot of things. If you want me to do a video on that, kindly let me know in the comment section, and I'll gladly do that. Because we grow. We keep growing, we keep learning day by day. We may have not started very early, but then at least progress is measured not by what you've accomplished within a short time, but the fact that you are able to keep going and pushing regardless of whatever you have, whatever setbacks you've had in the past. Okay, yes. So try and do some investment. The other financial mistake I did was not exploring other means of income. In Ghana today, whereby the average Ghanaian is being paid 800 to 1,000 cedis, transportation is taking more than 80% of that money. How do you expect to survive, save, pay your bills, transportation and all of that? How do you expect to survive if you are not doing more than one thing? Please, do you get it? Yes, so that was one other financial mistake I actually made, and I'm glad I learned from that mistake. Yes, and then finally, I'm going to add this to it. The last mistake I think I did would be tithing. It is one of the most controversial issues I've ever come across in this age, in this day and age, especially amongst Christians, because there's always that conflict about, and then tithing is in the Old Testament and all. Please chill. I'm sharing what, the financial mistakes I made with you. Look, I felt like, okay, already I'm not even earning much. Number two, whatever I'm earning is not even catering for my needs. You get it? That's the second one. Number three, I need more. How would I give 10% to God? In fact, it is even the pastor who is going to take it, so why should I give it out? You see the mentality and the mistake. Now, who gave you the ability to even work to get the money in the first place? Who gave you the mindset to be able to think on your feet and actually even think of doing that job in the first place? What if you worked and then probably at the end of the month they accuse you of something you've not even done and sack you without no pay? How would you survive? Before you started working, were you not surviving? So what is wrong with you? Somebody ensures that you are blessed, and he says that out of the blessing I've given you life, I've given you energy, I've given you the capability, the capacity to be able to work. At the end of the day, just give me 10%. Only 10%. And to that 10%, I am the one who gave you the money. And I'm requesting for 10%. And with the 10% you give me, I'm still even going to double it and bless you hey, and you don't want. You don't want. Well, that was one of the financial mistakes I made. But this is a testimony I'm sharing. Truth be told, since I started tithing, I wouldn't say faithful, extremely faithfully, 100% faithfully, because there are times somebody would gift you with, say, a food, you can't pay tithe on that. There are some times somebody will give you a dress, you can't really pay tithe on that, or shoe, you can't really pay tithe on that, you get it. But since I started tithing, even when I'm penniless, some way, somehow, God comes through. Some way, somehow, there's a blessing that comes through. Some way, somehow, I'm able to provide my basic needs. Some way, somehow. So please, you may not even see the effects right about now, but for every seed you sow, you bear fruit, and probably you may not even be the one taking that fruit or benefiting from that fruit, but your generations to come and all of that. Yes, so that's what it is. Okay, with the financial mistakes I've done so far, and thankfully I've learned, and I'm regaining my feet little by little, small small. So you can also try it. You can also share with me your financial mistakes and what solutions you implemented and all of that. Yes, in the comment section. Thank you for making time. Yes, so about this topic, the topic on the caption. I really didn't want to talk about it, but let me see. What do I even have to say about it? I mean, it's just a metaphor. That's how I felt like. I thought like, oh, okay. If somebody says, okay, I'm going to build a church because God laid it on my heart to do this, and then that same person will get up and be like, okay, because the people want to kill people, I'll give them the opportunity to kill. After all, it is God's people. Is that it? Like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, that's like hysterically. I'm just, putting that in an example, a different example. It doesn't really make sense. But whichever way, you're just praying and hoping that God would, come through for us some way, somehow. The truth of the matter is that things are not necessarily going to get better. We've had a lot of wars, earthquake, and all of that. Truth is, more would be coming, because that's what the Bible says. And if you believe it, you should know that if you are not dying, death is coming to you some way, somehow. So, live a day at a time, make the best out of everything. Pray to God, make sure your relationship with Him is good, and you are good to go. You get it, yes. So, on to my next video. Don't forget to do you. Let me know what you think and everything in the comment section. Thanks so much for making time to watch this video. I appreciate it so much. That's my next video. Bye bye.